Hurricane Dorian has left a path of destruction in the Bahamas. The latest on the aftermath in our lead report.
And coming out, find out what gun control measures are being taken after recent mass shootings across the country.
And funny man Kevin Hart is recovering from a major car accident. Find out more in entertainment.
And we've experienced rain, thunder, and excessive heat this weekend. What will our weekend look like? Stay tuned for more.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newscene. I'm Shonda Walker.
And I'm Chad Francis. We start with Hurricane Dorian as it continues to cause chaos across the Atlantic. Here's Jesus Lopez with the developing story.
Thank you, Chad. The death toll is rising in the storm-ravaged Bahamas as Hurricane Dorian continues to make its way up the U.S. East Coast. Moving at times at a forward speed of only 1 mile per hour, the Category 5 hurricane stationed itself over the islands for nearly 40 hours. The Abacos experienced Dorian's most catastrophic impact, with entire neighborhoods flattened and the most basic necessities impossible to come by. Officials say 30 people have died, but the death toll is expected to soar in the coming days. Dorian is the strongest hurricane ever to hit the Bahamas, and thousands of people are reported missing. Residents of the island say living through the storm was like experiencing an explosion.
Words can't describe it. I don't wish it on nobody. Words can't describe it. They could never categorize this. Never.
My grandfather ran out.
It was like an atomic bomb went off.
We don't have
It
sound
just-
for the video in here.
Dorian is still causing life-threatening storm surge and hurricane-force winds in the Carolinas. Tornadoes have been spotted in the Carolinas, only contributing to more of the chaos created by this brutal storm. Now, the National Hurricane Center has issued tropical storm warnings for the coastal areas of Massachusetts and Maine. A doorbell camera captured the moment a tornado swept through a neighborhood. And now, if we see those winds picking up, we'll see those storms. So now, the storm continues to develop, and I'll have more in your weather forecast. Now, back to you at the desk.
Evacuation orders have been lifted in the Marietta area, but a massive wildfire continues to burn in southern western Riverside County. Schools and businesses remain closed as more than 2,000 acres burn in the, I don't know how to say the name correctly, but the Teneja fire. It started Wednesday afternoon, and while no homes were destroyed, 2 were damaged. So far, the fire is at 20% contained.
Across the country, Senator Mitch McConnell is proposing a bill for gun control legislation in light of recent mass shootings in Ohio, California, and Texas. McConnell admitted the bill is a long time coming, but he wants the support of the White House first.
After that,
If the president took a position on a bill so that we knew we would actually be making a law and not just having serial votes, I'd be happy to put it on the floor.
Trump said that he supports enhanced background checks and he would like to pass a bipartisan bill.
Walmart has announced it will reduce its guns and ammunition sales. This comes 1 month after more than 20 people were killed in a mass shooting at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. The company said it will stop selling short barrel rifles and handgun ammunition after selling all of its current inventory. It will also announce that Walmart will stop handgun sales in Alaska and request that customers no longer carry guns in their stores. Walmart will continue to sell long barrel rifles and shotguns.
Ready to take it?
The San Francisco Board of Supervisors has passed a resolution declaring the National Rifle Association as a domestic terrorist organization. The decision came after a shooting in Gilroy, leaving 3 people dead. The declaration says the city will limit the business it does with the NRA and encourages all others to do the same. The city will also attempt to limit its business with gun owners who are working with the NRA.
All right, ready, 1, take it.
A judge has ruled the U.S. terror watch list that dates back to 9/11 is unconstitutional. The names of over 1 million people are on the list, which has been used to monitor potentially violent individuals or groups within the United States. But some American citizens believe their names were wrongly added. The FBI argued they were only trying to minimize terrorism. Hong Kong's leader, Carrie Lam, will finally withdraw a controversial extradition bill that had led to months of violence of protest. It was a dramatic reversal by Lam, who refused to change her mind on the bill that would have allowed extraditions to mainland China. But Lam is not willing to give on other protesters' demands, including investigating brutal police brutality during the protest.
Ready, 1, take it.
A court date has been set for a pair of high-profile political figures arrested at a Labor Day protest. San Diego Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez and County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher were arrested for civil disobedience at Kaiser Permanente's Los Angeles Medical Center. They were there on Labor Day protesting along with 31 others who were also arrested. Employees from Kaiser say they are facing staffing shortages, outsourced jobs, and low wages. At the same time, executives there are receiving bonuses.
Later in sports, the latest on the drama between Antonio Brown and the Oakland Raiders. Right when we come back.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
The Trump administration is planning to create national fuel standards, removing the waiver that allows California to have its own strict policies. The administration argues that less aggressive standards will allow automakers to create vehicles more in line with the market demand. The EPA will share its new plan later this month.
Several days after a San Diego woman died during a tragic boat fire off the Santa Barbara coast, questions remain on how the fire started and spread so quickly. The body of the woman, 31-year-old Nicole Keat-Asol, along with her 2 sisters, her father, and her father's wife, the 28 other victims have been recovered from the wreckage of the boat. The crew tried in vain to rescue the passengers from the lower bunk room, but the flames were too intense and all but one of the crew escaped. The boat before it was consumed by the fire. The National Transportation Board is investigating the fire, with early reports indicating a grease fire ignited the blaze. In other news, the Federal Trade Commission has slapped YouTube with a massive fine for collecting personal data of minors using the site. Information from children under the age of 13 was sold to advertisers without the consent of parents to improve targeted ads. The $170 million fine is the largest handed out for the violation of children privacy online. Critics say the fine is not large enough to put a dent in the finances of the multi-billion-dollar company, though.
Wow. Facebook announced this week it will offer facial recognition features to all of its users. The company says it will use the feature to tag users in photos and videos and prevent their identities from being misused. Facebook said a message will be sent explaining the features to users and allowing them to opt in. Facial recognition will remain optimal and be turned off by default.
Dozens of young users of e-cigarettes are ending up in the hospital across the country, suffering from irreversible lung damage. Now, health officials are racing to figure out the cause. Scientists in New York are linking several of the illnesses to vitamin E oil. The oil is used in the cartridges of cannabis vaping products. According to the CDC, over 200 people are suffering from lung disease caused from vaping.
Wow, you know, Michigan, they actually just banned vaping. E-cigarettes, I should say.
You know, a lot of schools locally here in San Diego, I hear the bathrooms, you can't go in them. It's like a drug house with the vaping.
Wow.
But surprisingly, in colleges, though, it's not like that. Younger ones.
Well, in other news, a lot has happened in the past couple of days with Antonio Brown and Serena Williams. Vicky has the latest in sports.
Antonio Brown is making headlines again, but this time it ain't about getting frostbite or him not wanting to wear a helmet. Days away from being suspended after arguing with the Raiders general manager, Brown has apologized to the team. Sources say it didn't get physical, but teammates had to hold the star wide receiver back. A suspension would have voided Antonio Brown's $1 million contract. Expect to see him on the field Monday when Oakland takes on the Denver Broncos. And Serena Williams has done it again. She's returning to the finals of the U.S. Open. A year ago, video of Serena's finals loss went viral after her outburst directed towards the chair umpire. She lost that one to Japan's Naomi Osaka. Now Serena is making her 10th U.S. Open finals appearance facing 19-year-old Canadian Bianca Andreescu. Andreescu is perhaps best known as the fur mom to Coco, which has been in stands for her earlier matches. The two finalists have an 18-age difference, which is the largest at a major. The final match will be held on the Saturday at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. And the Padres are back home tonight after losing to the Diamondbacks on Wednesday night. Chris Paddock pitched 5 scoreless innings in what may have been his final start of the season. Craig Stabin replaced him in the top of the 6th. Diamondbacks' Ketel Marte hit a grand slam. The Padres went on to lose the game 4-1, and San Diego will take on the Colorado Rockies later tonight at Petco Park. And the San Diego State Aztecs had a great 6-0 victory against Weber State Wildcats last Saturday. The Aztecs were only able to score 6 points with quarterback Ryan Agnew throwing for 108 yards. But the defense brought it to Weber State, shutting out the Wildcats. The Aztecs will now face the UCLA Bruins at the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena on Saturday afternoon. Bruins quarterback Dorian Thompson was only able to put together 156 yards against the Cincinnati Bearcats in their opener. And the San Diego City College fall sports teams continue to battle through the regular season. The women's volleyball team has a record of 2-2, entering its game against East LA. In other sports on campus, the Knights men's soccer team is having a rough start to its season. The Knights have lost both of their 2 games so far. Men's soccer will be traveling to San Bernardino to face the Wolverines this weekend. And that's it for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
UC San Diego and Rady Children's Hospital have landed a multi-million-dollar grant to research a pediatric heart condition. The study will focus on 4 congenital heart defects common in children. Patients with the condition typically undergo surgery before 6 months of age and then another treatment once they are a toddler.
Ever seen people doing circus training at OB? Edgar Yukovich has more on the story.
The Ocean Beach Jam is a free event where performers come together every Wednesday evening to practice various circus arts.
It's a really vibrant community, and everyone's really welcoming and very nurturing to your creative endeavors, so I decided to make it at home.
Acrobats, slackliners, and fire dancers learn and work on their skills right in front of the public.
Gather people with different skills and different backgrounds, and then be able to interact with them and learn from them without having to commit to pay to go to a place, like listening to music at the same time. It's just like a festival where you can go every week and have a lot of fun.
And, in case you're wondering, they are open to allowing members of the public to join in with them.
A lot of people don't even think they could do acro yoga, but they'd be surprised. You get on someone's feet and you can do things that you'd never imagine. And why not try something new today? You're never too old to learn something new and awesome.
Practicing in OB isn't without downsides. While filming this segment, we witnessed the cops breaking up an altercation.
Some homeless hecklers sometimes, and occasionally if you're out a little bit too late, it feels a little bit dangerous when you're walking alone as a woman. But other than that, I feel pretty safe.
Reporting for Newscene, this is Edgar Yutkevich.
Wow, thanks, Edgar. Now I really want to go out and try that after class on Wednesdays.
I love it.
Funny man Kevin Hart is recovering from back surgery. Find out more details later after this. Stockton is testing universal basic income, putting $500 in the pockets of residents struggling to make ends meet. It's a real life example. Of a. Oh, please excuse me. We're having technical difficulties.
We're going to go to break. We'll be right back with Kevin Hart news. Speaking of funny.
Oh, yes. See you soon.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at grantsoflife.org.
Stockton is testing a universal basic income, putting $500 in the pockets of residents struggling to make ends meet. It's a real-life example of a campaign, promises by Andrew Yang, a tech entrepreneur and 2020 presidential candidate. According to the Associated Press, the Stockton program is run by a local nonprofit independent from any candidate and is being monitored by a team of researchers. The benefits are expected to last 18 months.
Are you smarter than an 8th grader? A computer is for the very first time. Computer scientists have completed during the last 4 years to build an artificial intelligence system that could pass an 8th grade science test. Finally, on Wednesday, the Allen Institute of Seattle was the first to succeed at that. The AI system named Aristo was able to score 90% on the test given to the 8th graders. Many of the questions required Aristo to understand context in meaning, 2 things that have been difficult for computers to comprehend until now. The technology could lead to computers being able to hold a conversation with a human. Wow.
That scares me. I mean, oh wow, the world is advancing. Well, researchers have discovered code buried in Apple upcoming iPhone software that could point toward a new product. The software hints at augmented reality glasses, which several analysts and industry insiders expect Apple to release. Sometime within the next year, Apple's invitation for the new iPhone unveiling event teases at one more thing beyond the new phone. Steve Jobs was famous for his one more thing introductions that were reversed for exciting new products. We will find out next week if the glasses could be that one more thing.
Facebook is jumping into the dating game. The social network has launched an online dating service in the U.S. A new matchmaking function provides access to a number of features to help users find a meaningful relationship. The app is available to users 18 and older and matches people based on their interests. The dating profile will be separate from the main profile and will contain additional privacy and security features. The entertainment world has been shook up today. Injuries, retirements, and more. Find out the details with Susie.
The music community is feeling the loss of Grammy-winning songwriter LaShawn Daniels. According to his publicist, Daniels died from injuries sustained in a car accident in South Carolina. Daniel, who was better known as Big Shiz, was responsible for creating the sound of the late 90s and early 2000s R&B and pop. Some of Daniel's credits include Destiny's Child, Say My Name, Michael Jackson's You Rock My World, and It's Not Right, But It's Okay by Whitney Houston. Daniel leaves behind a wife and 3 sons. He was 41. Kevin Hart is recovering after a crash that left him with a severe back injury. Police say Hart was a passenger in a car along with 2 other people. The driver also suffered a back injury. They were riding in Hart's new 1970 Plymouth Barracuda when the driver lost control and rolled into a ditch near the Los Angeles suburb of Calabasas. Hart had surgery on Sunday and is expected to make a full recovery. Officials say alcohol was not a factor in the crash. The accident remains under investigation by police. Some sad news for some Nicki Minaj fans. Fans of Nicki Minaj, has announced her retirement from music. Minaj made the announcement in a now-deleted tweet saying she has decided to retire to have a family. The rapper is dating Kenneth Petty and has mentioned wedding plans. She has not made it clear what exactly she's retiring from or if she's even serious about it. The Crazy Rich Asian sequels are now delayed because of a pay dispute within the writing team. Adele Lim, who co-wrote the first movie of the series, turned down 2 offers to co-write the other films. Lim did this after she learned that she would be paid around $700 less than her co-writer, Peter Chiradelli. Lim is now focused on a Disney feature that will debut next year. The popular Netflix comedy Grace and Frankie has been renewed for its 7th and final season. That makes it the longest-running Netflix original series. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin said in a joint statement that they were so grateful that the show has been able to deal with issues that have really connected to their grand generation and their kids. The 6th season is set to premiere January 2020. And now for some nice news. The Jonas Brothers turned an otherwise bleak evening for a special young fan into something unforgettable. The Jo Bros surprised 16-year-old Lily Jordan with a personal visit to her hospital room before their show in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Lily had to miss the concert to undergo chemotherapy treatments at a hospital across the street from the venue. Her post about missing the concert went viral, compelling the band to make a special stop just for her. Nick, Kevin, and Joe also offered to play Lily's favorite song, SOS, during the concert, making that the best night of her life. And that is all for entertainment today. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you. Well, you'll be needing your umbrella. No, excuse me.
We're going to get a break, but we got all that good, juicy weather information coming up because it's been hot here and we want to know when it's going to end.
Yes, and you'll be needing your umbrella to cover the sunshine or rain. More on this weekend's forecast up next.
Our meteorologist got it.
Waiting for break.
I mean, what have you thought about... Yeah, I saw on my app that
when I first saw a turtle, my heart was
good save.
Hey, I was trying to fill up the void.
Good save.
This heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Airbnb is again launching its free lodging program in Florida and nearby states as a response to the devastation of Hurricane Dorian.
Every year, millions of dogs and cats end up in shelters and rescue groups. We found our Bella at a shelter in Tennessee. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover they're all pure love. Adopt pure love and help a shelter pet find their way home at theshelterpetproject.org.
Apologies for some of the discussion during the break. We were just trying to fill the void that we thought was there. All right, Airbnb is again launching its free lodging program in Florida and nearby states as a response to the devastation of Hurricane Dorian. Free places to stay are available for displaced residents and disaster relief workers affected by the hurricane through September 16th. The Open Homes program allows homeowners with property that would have stayed empty during the storm to offer it for free. The program is now in its 5th year and has grown rapidly, Airbnb officials say.
Local health officials are reporting 3 new species of mosquitoes in San Diego County that could pose a danger to the public health. Our native species can transmit West Nile virus, but they are only active at dusk and dawn. The invasive mosquitoes are active all day and can transmit not just West Nile, but Zika fever, Zika yellow fever, and a host of other diseases. County environmental officials urge everyone to use insect repellents and cover up as much as possible when they're outdoors.
With all the updates in weather, here is Kareem with more. Actually, it's our meteorologist, Jesus Lopez. He's the best.
Thank you, Chad. And I was just eavesdropping your previous conversation about covering up for mosquitoes. Man, it's hot out there to be covering up, but just make sure you're wearing that mosquito repellent, especially that DEET. Well, let's talk about Hurricane Dorian, which is very important at the moment. It's still a Category 1 hurricane. It's still causing life-threatening surge, especially along the coast here. You see that yellow around that orange center? That is tropical storm force winds, which extend out of the center. This is where you will find those 90 plus maximum sustained winds. Now you will see some tropical force winds, which is it's from 30 to 73 miles per hour. This is not sustained. This is just continues on and off on the coast. So imagine just that ripple effect of waves hitting the coastal area. So you're going to see erosions. Avoid the beach. Don't be on the roads. You will see some blinding rain. Now, let's talk about the peak of hurricane season, which is happening now in the Atlantic. We do have several storms trying to brew, especially where you see that yellow X. That's a 20% chance of any type of tropical formation. Then we have Gabrielle, which will stay out in the ocean. With our local weather, it's been hot, it's been steamy. We've seen some thunderstorms, especially in the mountain communities and deserts. But we'll continue with that steam because where does the water have to go? It evaporates, and we feel that steam, which is the humidity after it evaporates. Now, current temperature, 82 degrees. The real feel is at 91. So temperatures feel in the 90s out there. Make sure you wear that light colored clothing, stay hydrated, and make sure when you walk our pets to not walk them on the sun in the shaded area because the pavement gets hot and the paws may burn. Now look at those temperatures. Oceanside 84, Chula Vista 83, El Cajon 93 with those temperatures feeling in the high 90s. Now look at those temperatures throughout the night. For tonight, temperature will be at 74 degrees. For tomorrow at 7 a.m. it will be at 77 degrees. Precipitation is 0, and that's all with weather. Now back to you at the desk.
We had fun tonight. I'm Chad Francis for the very first time.
And I'm Shonda.
See you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night.
And a good weekend.